she bought in Texas. She has done a lot of bad things, and hopefully my use of narrative to narrate the terrible events has convinced you that indeed military force is necessary. Okay, so what else do you have to do? Well, element 3, Jason, is exhortation to unified action. We're all unified, you and me, all, not just you and me and all of America, but the Lego people, the dogs and the cats. All of us are together, and we will defeat this terrorist Barbie. We are all work together. With the help of God, Barbie will die. Okay then, what else are you going to say in your little speech? Element 4 is investiture as commander-in-chief. So, I'm the general, I'm commander-in-chief, although I am civilian, because that's the way the Constitution is. I am in charge. So I'm going to talk about how the Constitution tells me what to do. I'm actually going to say that I'm commander-in-chief and all that type of stuff. And so, yeah, as commander-in-chief, the Constitution gives me the right to, even though it might not be war, to defeat terrorist Barbie. That's what the Constitution says. Okay. All right, so what else are you going to do? Perhaps strategic misrepresentation? Sometimes we have to frame things in ways to make people support us, even though it might not be exactly the way things are. For instance, I did not mention that Barbie also donates to the United Way or something. But I'm framing this a particular way. Barbie is evil, evil, evil. Terrorist Barbie is evil. There's good Barbies out there, but terrorist, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Barbie are bad, 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 bad. So, let me review. There are 4 elements. 5, actually, sorry. To this genre of war rhetoric. Product of thoughtful deliberation, last resort. We don't like war. We thought about this deliberately. Lots of thinking, lots of thinking. What else? I told a story about how terrible terrorist Barbie is. Narrative, narrative, narrative. That's the second element. Third element, exhortation to unified action. We are all together against this common enemy, and we will defeat her, that evil Barbie evildoer. And then element 4 is investiture as commander-in-chief. I am commander-in-chief. The Constitution gives me the right to defend America. And then the last element, strategic misrepresentation. I'm going to frame this the way that I want to get support. Thank you, George. Thank you. And I want you to know real live animals or anything else were harmed in this lecture. Okay, so there we have the elements. Hopefully that helps you understand the elements. One thing that I put on KC was what I think probably, and I've talked to some people actually today across the country, some of the top political communication scholars, trying to figure out what perhaps the most recent example of war rhetoric is. And even though we have the FDR's famous speech there that you can read and you should read, but one of the things that I posted on KC that again I think is probably with, in consultation with other famous political communication scholars and presidential rhetorical scholars. The most recent probable use of this is Obama's speech about Libya. So I have posted that as a link, as a bookmark, and this was given on March 28th, I believe, 2011. So what I was going to do here, again, just to give you a sense of what I'm wanting for the paper, and this was at the National Defense University in Washington, D.C., 7:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to read it to you very obviously, but I've made some notes here, and again, trying to showcase what your paper should look like. So, when you're writing this 5-page paper, or maybe a little bit longer, with citations, if you have citations, you need to start by having some sort of paragraph that contextualizes the speech, contextualizes the situation. What was going on in Libya? What happened, right, in this particular situation? And then also within that first paragraph, have your thesis, and that's why I'm asking you to do that in your second thread. So, what's your thesis? Was this a good, fitting response to the situation or not? And then just knowing the elements. Second paragraph would be with a topic sentence. We see that in President Obama's speech about Libya, he indicated that his call to action, or what he did, was a product of thoughtful deliberation, and then have lots of various examples. And in a way, in my notes, he just starts out by showcasing that this was a thoughtful deliberation. Tonight I'd like to update the American people on the international effort that we have led in Libya, what we have done, what we plan to do, and why this matters to us. He talks about, I don't know what paragraph, but there's some place where he says, at this point, there was nothing else that we could have done. We tried to do all this type of stuff. No, I can't find it. But there is a sentence or a paragraph.